Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K exclusive Best Buy Steelbook edition of M. Night Shyamalan's Old. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, Old from director M. Night Shyamalan is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Universal. It comes in a standard slipcover edition as well as a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. Now, as far as the film itself goes, when it comes to the career of M. Night Shyamalan, there's some, I would say, mixed reactions. You have some of his stronger efforts, such as The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, and then you have weaker ones that are, like The Happening and, Signs to a degree. But so slowly but surely, the director has kind of found his footing more or less in consistency. For instance, I really enjoyed Unbreakable, as I mentioned, and Split, but Glass, not so much. I think the whole end of that trilogy was a bit of a mess. But then you have a movie like Old, which I feel is kind of it's a tale of good and bad. I think the directing is really good, but some of the acting choices in the film are kind of hit or miss in this one. There's some stuff I don't like narratively, but also, once again, the acting choices are just, just sort of what they are. But I think if I'm going to have to chalk it up, I think Old is ultimately a win for the director. And I really enjoyed his visual style in the film, which I'll touch on a little bit more in the picture and audio aspects of the review. Okay, we're going to talk about those in just a moment, but first let's do a quick unboxing of the Steelbook. Alright, we have the Best Buy exclusive 4K Steelbook edition of Old from director M. Night Shyamalan. The artwork is what it is. Yeah, I understand. If you know the context of the movie, you kind of get where they're going here, but then we have the back and the spine and interior. Some artwork on the 4K disc and standard Blu-ray, just regular. And then kind of a bleak looking Steelbook, but still a nice presentation. Now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Old on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 239:1 aspect ratio. It is finished at a 4K digital intermediate with HDR10 and Dolby Vision for the grading. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision encode. This movie was shot on film and finished at a 4K DI for this release. Film grain is light in density. I didn't find it to be too heavy-handed. Overall, the picture quality is very clean here. When you have a movie that takes place primarily at a tropical beach location next to a body of water, you have in your mind that the film's going to look a certain way when it comes to the 4K with Dolby Vision and HDR. I pretty much had The Shallows in mind, where in that film, the 4K, the picture is pristine. The ocean, the sky, the sands, they all look just immaculate. Here, due to Shyamalan's filmmaking style, it takes on more of a sepia, warmer tone. It's not that it's a bad thing, it's just something I was kind of a little bit caught off guard. But that being said, the Dolby Vision color palette, it's okay. It's not going to be a lush, vibrant looking image. Skin tones look good, as does clothing, and some vegetation also really stand out. And there are moments where just the sky is really blue. But if you're expecting the pristine color palette that you would get once again over on The Shallows, you may be a little disappointed. But it's still what we get for a Shyamalan film. It looks appropriate. Shadow detail looks fairly good throughout the movie, whether there's a couple of characters at the beginning of the film in a dimly lit room or later on in the movie when they're inside a cave lit by a match. You get a good amount of shadow detail in those spots. Black levels are good, they're fairly consistent. I didn't really have any issues with elevation, but for the most part I think they're pretty spot on. I wouldn't say the reference quality though. The 4K resolution does offer a nice increase in detail, though it's not a dramatic one. The facial features of those real up-close shots really stand out. You get the chiseled jawline of the male characters, the imperfections in their skin, but then you have some mid-level and even some of the up-close shots look a little bit on the soft side. That's probably due to the cinematographer being used and how it was shot, but just kind of temper your expectations in that department. Old on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a Dolby Atmos audio presentation. Now, the location of this movie really plays a lot into the surround sound environment, where you have waves constantly crashing against you with the rear speakers and mid-levels, and it overall sounds very good and immersive.
What's not so good is just the overall energy of the track. It feels a little anemic. It lacks a bit of a punchiness to it. So while you have a good surround sound environment, up front things sound a little bit on the weak side. The center channel renders dialogue fairly well, though there were a couple instances where it was a bit difficult to understand what was being said. And the front speakers, I think they do a good job complementing the center channel. The mid-level and rear speakers, this is a very immersive track, as I mentioned earlier, whether it's ocean waves or environmental effects or even dialogue sometimes travels around the surround sound environment. I think overall it offers a very good immersive experience. And the height speakers complement the other surround sound speaker placements, but they do offer some discrete channel activity from time to time. And the LFE channel is probably the biggest disappointment. It lacks some kind of punchiness or heft to it, and it's not even what I would call appropriate for the movie that it is. I expected a little bit more, and I'm just sorry to say we don't get it here. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Old on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A-. The image quality here is quite nice. The color palette leans a little bit towards the warmer side, black levels are fairly consistent, but the 4K resolution can sometimes be hit or miss. Overall, it's a very nice presentation on 4K Ultra HD. For the audio mix, I'm going to give this one a B+. Make no mistake, the surround sound environment is used quite effectively here in this Dolby Atmos presentation. It does sound very immersive, but unfortunately the overall track just lacks a bit of punchiness. The Dolby Atmos does sound good here, it's just not something I would consider demo worthy. So that is my review of Old on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking this up for yourself, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.